Good morning. It's me, Pearl, and this is Tuned In Tarot. Happy Valentine's Day. We are here to take a look at the energetic balance between the divine masculine and divine feminine aspects of self, understanding that whatever state we find this energy in, we can expect to see reflected back to us in the outside world, in the interactions we have with other people in our lives, in our environment, etc. And we can expect to be able to see the things that we desire come to us the more that we come into balance and alignment in ourselves. So it's our job to kind of look at what the energy is like inside of ourselves and shift accordingly. All right, let us begin. Divine masculine is going first this morning. He's got a lot on his mind. I just need a drink. All right, I did the shuffle over on Instagram this morning. Kylie was our winner. So congratulations to Kylie. She wins a free hour long, usually more like 90-minute personal reading. And if you are interested in an opportunity to be able to win a reading yourself, stay tuned to my Instagram for song challenges where I will shuffle, get a major arcana card, and ask you to tell me what songs you think embody that card. I add them all to a list. I shuffle them, use the messages from the reading to help direct the reading that I do for that day, and then you win a free reading. So thank you for participating, Kylie, and good luck for the next one. Alrighty, let's see. Divine Masculine. Can you tell I'm avoiding? I do not want to do this today for some reason. All right, top of the deck. Overall, headspace, forefront of this mind of the Divine Masculine is the Two of Pentacles in reverse, and it looks like he's made a choice. Can we hear like applause if I had a laugh track? No, not a laugh track, an applause track, although maybe a laugh track at this point. He's made a choice. Hooray. I like the choice I'm looking at. It seems pretty great. So I'm down for it. But he's been in a state of indecision. There's been this back and forth dance going on between himself and whatever it is that he's trying to get to come to him or be with him or whatever it is that this energy is trying to manifest. It's been this dance. And it's been usually imbalanced, you know, two steps forward, one step back, one step forward, two steps back, and just kind of going in circles and circles and circles. And he's done. He's done with that. He's decided. He's like, I know what I'm going to do. I don't know how I feel about this, but the niggling thing in the back of his mind is the Knight of Wands, which, Divine Feminine has a problematic relationship with for the most part. But there are light traits of the Knight of Wands, and there are certain circumstances under which we will allow for the Knight of Wands to be, a beneficial energy. This might be one of them when we look at the rest of his headspace, but he is in his passion. He wants to throw caution to the wind. He has decided to throw his fears and worries and caution to the wind. Trust in the strength of the connection and keep your eyes peeled because we're going to be seeing a lot of strength. This, of course, we have the eternal connection. That's what the dance has been about. Then we've got the strength card resonating here with the lion's energy. That's, of course, associated always with wand energy because it's fiery too. And he is passionate and he is sexually charged and he's feeling youthful, like he's feeling like he can really embody the light traits of this knight and not present with the problematic traits that he's exhibited in the past, which is inconsistency, a tendency to be superficial or focused only on the physical or material, um, or just getting his own needs met, not really caring that much about the consequences or throwing the consequences, like throwing caution to the wind, which includes like, this might not be great in the long term, but like, man, is it going to feel good right now? Like, so he's leaving behind that energy, and we're seeing him really just, I think he's mindful of it. It's why it's in the back of the mind. There's sexual energy back there. There's this desire to just go for it. There's, that's lingering behind every decision that we see him wanting to make right now. So that's definitely part of his consciousness. He's conscious of his ability to shift so easily into Knight of Wands, but I don't see that being a problem. It's just something he's being mindful of, which, you know what? Good. And then we have the first thing on his mind, the Fool, the new beginning. So this is what he's just chosen. He's chosen a new beginning. And he's very passionate about it. And that throw caution to the wind that we get from the Knight of Wands energy is coming directly from the Fool energy as well. Just take the leap. Just go for it. Just do it. Just do it. And the he's feeling so much loyalty to and from this divine feminine, and it's just filling him with this motivation to try to make this move in this direction so that he can start to manifest this union that he's really after. And then we have the Prince of Cups, aka the Knight of Cups again, who was here twice yesterday and is back again and is a featured player in the headspace because this is in the present position. And this is what the new beginning is about. He wants to rush in his Knight of Wands energy with this cup filled and share with divine feminine. Again, there's mindfulness here of the tendency for the Knight of Cups to be also a bit sort of like wishy-washy, right? He comes in, he expresses a lot, but then accompanied by that Knight of Wands energy could be quick to cut out again. So the fact that the Fool is present though, and that there's an urge, like there's this thinking about wanting to have a new beginning, would suggest to me that the new thing that comes from this card is that it's not going to present with this energy. Remember, we're in retrograde right now. So this normal behavior is abnormal, right? We kept getting that card when Mercury in retrograde started of the trickster energy, which is so appropriate for Mercury in retrograde because it is the opposite effect. Like what normally works doesn't, and what normally doesn't work works. The new thing here is that he's in the light of these nights. He's wanting to sweep divine feminine off her feet and express all of this emotion to her. And then we have the Justice card in reverse. So here's something that he's thinking about in regards to how he's behaved. There's been an injustice, right? There's been an imbalance. And because he's now choosing this new beginning, choose to behave in ways he's not behaved before, he understands that would be appropriate now for him to bring justice to the divine feminine, so that because she hasn't been seeing any justice yet, she's been stuck with divine masculine in this suspended energy of the Hanged Man. Both of them have been in this energy. Now they've both, of course, gained perspective. This is about the isolation between them. They've both gained perspective. Divine masculine gained perspective on his foolishness, right? That's also why I think we see Nine of Wands, Nine of Cups, and this mindfulness of like, wow, I've really been foolish in the past. I've been foolish and it's been really unfair. The decisions that I've made about how I've behaved really tested the strength of our connection. So now I want a new beginning. I want to move into the light traits of these nights. I want to turn this on its head. I want to bring justice where justice hasn't been. I'm surrendering, gaining this perspective on how strong divine feminine is, how strong my integrated divine feminine is, and the strength of this connection in general. I have tested it in the way that I have acted, and he's gained this perspective. He can see this, and he knows now what he must say, what he must do. And the injustice has been this Seven of Swords. throws cards at self. So the injustice has been what divine masculine has kept hidden, what he's been unwilling to reveal. And he's recognizing how strong divine feminine has been withstanding the silence and secrecy, these hidden things. But ultimately, he wants to rush in, express to her, bring her the apology that is due, apologize to her for the injustice of keeping her hidden, reveal her, reveal her utterly, illuminate, bring illumination to the strength of their connection, and right the wrongs here. But he has a surprise in mind, and so he's still keeping things hidden because of this. In his heart space, the top of the deck is the Three of Cups upright. So he's ready to party. He feels pretty good. There's the sense here that he is going to be able to experience this reunion, that he's going to get what he wants, and he's excited about it. He's really looking forward to it. And the hermit energy that he was in, he's out. The niggling feeling in his heart space, he's not going to stay in isolation anymore. He's gone within, he's gained perspective. He followed his heart. He followed that light, that star. And he wants to come out of this isolation and out of hiding. The first thing on his mind is this Nine of Pentacles. This is what he's been foolish about. He's been foolish about his possessiveness over the divine feminine and about being so attached to the material and feeling like in order to have this divine feminine that somehow he's had to have all of this material wealth and well-being, and that's really not at all important to this divine feminine. She's perfectly capable of achieving that herself, which I think to a certain extent made him question his value, because he saw his value as provider and protector, not understanding that that's a spiritual status, not a material one. And that for this particular divine feminine, she wants to be in equal balance with him in terms of give and take and providing and protecting. So he's releasing this attachment that he's responsible for this abundance. Divine feminine has her own abundance. He's also concerned that he might be foolish because divine feminine has been single and fabulous, but will she stay solo forever? No, she will not. And so he's a little bit worried about her, like, is she going to give her cup to someone else? Is she going to be available now that that this injustice has been done? And even though I intend this new beginning with her and intend to express this to her, like, is she going to reject this offer ultimately? So he's got some concerns about that. He's also feeling foolish about his self-indulgence, that he was too self-indulgent. And this could have been with substances, because we saw a lot of devil energy, drinking, temperance. We got a lot of music over the last month having to do with drinking and indulging. We've got the Three of Cups too, which has also got there's a revelry there that has to do with imbibing. And so to a certain extent, we might see him regretting this self-indulgence that he's had. Either way, he really desires this divine feminine. He really desires to be in the physical material reality with her. And this is what he wants a new beginning in regards to. He wants to end his single status and move into a union with divine feminine. We've got his Ace of Cups, and it's in reverse again. And again, I'm not seeing this in reverse as in he's not filled it up enough. I'm seeing the other meanings I associate with this cup in reverse. Number one, source has filled it up to overflowing and it's ready to pour out and be expressed. Number two, if there was poison that existed in the cups, it has been poured out. That self-indulgent behavior, it's been checked. And now, because he's checked that, he can fully express from this Knight of Cups energy to divine feminine. Here's the solid foundation. We see him always craving. He's clinging onto something. And there's this justice card. So there could actually be some legal issues that accompany that justice card that he's dealing with. And he it's and I actually feel that there's another energy in his life that is grasping or clinging to him like this. So this isn't so much what he's doing. This is something else. Something else outside of him, an external energy, is clinging to him and using this legal system to try to manipulate him in some way. The um the outpouring and the expression, it's going to talk like he's going to be able to reveal this information. He's going to be able to give more substance to whatever story that is here. And he also himself had, he did cling to this material, this past material manifestation, because it was important to him. But and that is what has been causing this injustice. So this whole energy in regards to someone clinging to him and him clinging to the past, and it blocked the fulfillment of his heart's desire. There's the Ace of Wands in reverse again. We saw him thinking about himself being a dick yesterday. And that's what he gained perspective on. He gained perspective that he was blocking himself from his fulfillment of his desire. And he had to hold back what it was that he wanted, because he's the King of Cups. And the King of Cups has to be strong. He has to, because he's sensitive and psychic, intuitive, passionate, just, kind, honest, brave, true, etc. His sensitivity makes him feel so much. So his concern, his anxiety, his need to be protective. He's a jealous king. He's a king that definitely, he's a great, wonderful king. He's the king that you would want to have ruling, but he cannot speak to his feelings because he has to maintain a stoicism to rule effectively. So he can't be overly emotionally reactive in any way. And this took so much strength for him, because what he really wanted to be able to do was just pour out these emotions in this night energy, but he couldn't. He had to hold back his heart's desire because of this energy, because of this injustice, this clinging energy. And he's judging himself for what he's done. It's this judgment, and it's in its reversal. So that's, he's trying to release this harsh criticism of himself, trying not, knowing that it's not going to help him to judge himself harshly for what has happened. And instead, focus on bringing about a rebirth, ending the cycle, ending the silence, ending hiding, ending this desire to keep divine feminine hidden as well. He knows that it was unfair. And he feels so badly about it. He's judging himself so harshly and really trying to release it and end this shame that has been associated with this energy, knowing it's the thing that has held him back from really achieving what it is he desires. All right, Divine Feminine, it is your turn. Let me flip over. Fascinating. All right. We will start with the headspace, top of the deck, overall forefront of the mind for Divine Feminine headspace. The Sun in reverse. So auspicious to get the Sun card. Doesn't matter if it's upright or in its reversal. In this particular image, we have this lovely little child swinging, and there's all of this illumination that comes from the sun. And of course, the sun is the source of life. This is the divine masculine energy, where the moon is the divine feminine energy. And when we're seeing its reversal, I think what I'm seeing is divine feminine trying not to get too excited, trying not to block her own happiness right now, trying to hold on to it very lightly. She feels its precariousness in this moment, that it's based on this tentative peace that she's been achieving lately by not focusing on the things that really worry her. The niggling feeling in her headspace is the Nine of Swords in its reversal. So she's like, there's something in her right now that's embracing. She's had sleepless nights. She's had a lot of anxiety. She's had worries. Her thoughts have been going on and on. She's been trying to process all of this information. And look, you have all the sun's rays here, and then you have these dark red and black, like this complete opposite spectrum in her headspace. And of course, we're releasing this energy. So it's like the back and forth between these two, this shadow and this light, this is at play. This is what's making the tentative feeling in her headspace. She's like, I'm doing a really, really great job of managing my fears and worries and anxieties about my happiness being real. But it's very difficult because it's all like, sometimes I'm like, yes, I'm gonna have everything I've desired. And then my thoughts are like, oh, are you though? But like, what if you're completely insane? And then it's like back, so she's shifting back and forth in this energy, but she's doing a good job of releasing the worries and the doubts and very lightly and tentatively holding on to this happiness, which she knows comes from self and not from anything outside of her. And she's combating that illumination, that enlightenment she's received. That's how she's fighting off this darkness. But it is a job. It's a full-time job, and it might involve some substances, not gonna lie. All right, next up, first thing in her mind, Nine of Wands. So she's persevering. She's been isolated. She's been alone. So is the divine masculine. She's been doing this healing of these deep inner child wounds. That's the other reason we're seeing this little child here upside down. There's been deep inner child wounds, and there's been a lot of work that has taken place. Look at the similarity in those cards. Those rays of light coming from that pinnacle. It takes this healing energy to be able to recuperate from the battles that this divine feminine has endured. And so she's just been healing in this energy and preparing herself for this. The Knight of Swords. We love this upright in her headspace because this means she's bringing herself clarity. She's being direct with herself. She's in her honesty. She is looking at the full spectrum of what is before her, what is present, because this is present position also. So what is present in her mind? She's been doing this healing and going within and looking at these wounds and really seeing clearly. Oh, I was blocking love relationships, or I was blocking the manifestation because I was afraid of it, or whatever it is. So she feels that because she's doing this, because she has healed her wounds and started to see clearly with this Knight of Swords energy, that divine masculine is going to mirror her and move in swiftly, bringing truth, being direct, giving her clear indication that he is the emperor for her, that he is her twin, her soulmate, whatever label you want to put on it, her person. She feels that the wounds she's healed, it's allowing her to see clearly who this actual energy is. She has associated it with specific iterations before, and they've disappointed her in some way. And she's been confused about it. Like, well, I know that on the soul's journey, you're meant to trigger each other in this journey. So, you know, this just part of that journey? Whatever. The wounds she's healing, this is allowing her to really identify, first of all, her own integrated divine masculine energy being the emperor, right? This, if she wants this, she must be this. She's really mindful of it. She's like, I need to be the empress that attracts an emperor. I need to make decisions and choices and take action in the way that an emperor does. And I need to be fertile and creative and abundant and in my power the way that the empress is. At the same time, I must embody both things, and then I will attract this to me. So this time has allowed her to see this, to see what it is that she needs to do. We're getting the 10 of Pentacles in reverse again in the same position that it appeared before. This is what the healing has been done in regards to. Divine Feminine did not believe that she could have this, or she has recently lost this. This is also possible because we have these divergent elements in the collective. There's some that believe this could not be hers. There's others that had it and lost it. They had a home that they owned and they lost it, or whatever, something like that. They had a partner, they had a relationship, and it's gone. What they thought constituted their happiness has left, and they realized that it left to show them their wounds that were not healed. So that's one collective. The other collective that has just blocked this from happening for so long, they're in the same position, that not appearing, not coming, taking so long. Where is it? Why isn't it happening? Etc. That journey has led them to figure out their own inner child wounds and heal them in the same way. The Knight of Swords is really interestingly being clarified by the King of Swords in reverse. So in order for this knight to come in and be direct and speak to Divine Feminine, the King of Swords energy must release the shadow traits. So the shadow traits of the King of Swords being that he is cold, icy, aloof, controlling, a little bit detached, definitely cut off from the feelings and emotions. That's the shadow traits. The light traits of a King of Swords, somebody who's stepping into the light, they intellectualize their feelings, but they are comfortable and they have conquered their feelings. So they're not in the shadow in that they're cut off from their feelings. They have just conquered them. They don't allow their feelings to make decisions for them. They allow their feelings to guide their thoughts, and they use their thoughts to make decisions. It's a very, really good level-headed energy. So Divine Feminine, who has this 10 of Pentacles in reverse and also has this King of Swords in reverse, there's a couple of different things associated with that. We either have a King of Swords who blocked this happiness by being in his shadow traits, by being cold, icy, and aloof, etc. But we have her self-awareness with this Knight of Swords energy, bringing this truth to herself that it was her own icy aloofness, it was her own controlling behaviors, her own tendency to be a bit detached and cut off from her own feelings that caused her to have a reflected energy, a divine masculine energy that was in that place. So this is the harsh reality of Divine Feminine's headspace. Thank you. Good morning, Emily. Thank you for saying I look gorgeous today. I feel gorgeous today. I got all sparkly for my Instagram shuffle. I was like, I'm doing diamonds and I'm doing pearls and I'm doing satin today. And that's how I'm spending all of my Valentine's Day. And it's just gonna be my Vanderpump Valentine's Day extravaganza. And I'm ready for it. I've got a charcuterie that's ready to go. I've got pink sparkling rosé. Lisa would be proud. And here we have the Queen of Wands, that fiery Leo energy. It's in reverse, right next to the King of Swords in reverse. So I see here a battle between two very powerful and stubborn energies and smart ones. This one with vision, a vision that is undeniable. This one with the blue plans, right? The prints, the planning, the strategy. Together, they make a really great team. In the shadow traits, they make a really contentious pair. And we're talking a long term, you know, they'll last forever because they're strong and there's like a loyalty in both of these energies. Like these are not individuals who would ever cheat on one another. They're very loyal in this way. So they'll last forever in this energy. But there will be many blowouts. Like a lot. And they will be like very mundane things. Like there's an energy of when this couple first comes together, almost like the bickering of an old married couple. It just exists between them, but it's sort of something that they're fond of, like because both of these fiery and energies kind of like a debate. They like a, you know, like there's definitely something about that in this energy. Also, it's this air and fire where we're getting steam too. So, but that's clear by this pair that in this way they are sort of strange. In their shadows, they're strangely matched. Their stubbornness, their tendency to get a little pissy. One goes cold, like it's opposites, right? One goes completely cold, the other gets hot and is like fiery and angry. So, Divine Feminine's Queen of Wands is clarifying the Emperor, her Queen of Wands in reverse. And this is that part where her vision of this Emperor has not been clear. And the Knight of Swords is coming in to show her the truth about who this actual Emperor is. And that is what is consuming her right now in her mind. All right, top of the deck, heart space for Divine Feminine. The Three of Pentacles upright. So I think she started working. I know I did. I recorded a bunch of vocals yesterday and then was completely overwhelmed because I did it in about 9 different ways. It was like, cool. Now I have to go through all of these and Frankenstein together something that I actually want to sing and then do it all over again. Yay. So she started working. She's really started working on something. She's taken this advice because we kept seeing the Eight of Pentacles in reverse for her. And it was like, bitch, can you please just start working on your craft and really kind of make something special for yourself? She's also getting a team of individuals around her. This is about Divine Masculine and working with Divine Masculine too. It does have that energy, but it's about this material manifestation she's creating and the team of people involved in bringing this together. And it's really significant. She can feel the significance that the little pieces have fallen into place for her. And she's really starting to be able to see this vision, which has been clouded by her focus on this Emperor. She's starting to see in her headspace how she's been blocking that, and the veil is being lifted there. The niggling feeling is she's afraid she's not going to hear from the Divine Masculine. I don't know what to tell you, Divine Feminine, because I think you do know that if you're worried about something, that's what you get. She's got a niggling feeling. There's been a slowing down. There's been like this moment of the messages she thought might come. She's like, maybe I'm not going to actually hear anything though. I don't know. I really want to hear something from him today, but maybe I won't. And I just have to prepare myself for that. And that's why I'm trying not to get too excited Just trying, because my happiness is so tentative and it's not based on whether or not I get these messages. I will be happy today regardless. I know I will. I'll have a good time. Bitch, I got a charcuterie. How could I be sad today? Okay? I'm going to be happy. There's cheese. Okay? Cheese and grapes, olives. Those little olive rosemary toasts that you buy from the expensive grocery store. Come on. It's going to be a fucking blast, whether I get these messages or not. So she's holding that down in her headspace. She's like, just be happy, please. It doesn't matter if you hear from this person, right? Aw, I feel you. So she's a little worried. And she's hermiting. That Nine of Wands energy, hermit energy. She's like, you know what? My fear shows me that there must still be something in there that I gotta go soul search out again because I'm still healing these wounds, I guess. Because this is still bothering me and I'm still worried. There's my Nine of Swords mirroring the one I'm trying not to focus on in my headspace. But look what a good job I'm doing. I'm fucking terrified. There's my Nine of Swords. I can't stop thinking. I'm up every night thinking about all this goddamn shit. When am I going to see this fucking knight with his sword? Tell me what I want to hear. When am I going to be honest with myself? When am I going to finally realize everything I need to do and be responsible for it? When am I going to stop sabotaging myself? And your headspace is like, shh. It's okay. It's okay. You don't have to be afraid that he's not coming because you're happy whether he comes or not. Remember, Divine Feminine, remember whether this card is upright or in its reverse, there's happiness here. So you don't need to see this Divine Masculine. You don't need to see his messages. You don't need to hear his messages to be. I can't make it up. I can't make it up. The Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords. So the Nine of Swords. And this always happens it'll be like the Nine of Wands and the Knight of Wands. And I'll have to be like the Nine of Swords, clarifying the Knight of Swords. And then on the other side again, clarified by it. What? Okay. I don't have even a tiny bit of math degree, but someone who has a math degree and understands probability, could you please watch all of my readings and then mathematically analyze the probability of this shit ever fucking happening? What the hell? So she's worried, but her heart is reassuring her. Her head is reassuring because her intuition is also, your heart is the space of fear and intuition, right? Your head is the place where you process the feelings. You have a feeling oh, and then your head is like, oh, I must be thinking about something that's making me be like, oh. And then you're like, oh, okay, I see. All right, don't be afraid. It's okay. You'll be okay without that. And then you start to use your mind to lead you back to a place where the thoughts you have make you be like, oh, yeah, it's okay. It's fine, right? So your heart is saying, yeah, I'm afraid, I'm worried that he's going to stay in his hermit energy and just be healing forever because am I going to do that? And then also am I going to ever be honest with myself? If I'm not honest with it, is he going to be honest? And your heart is like, shh. The truth is coming swiftly. In regards to this Emperor energy, you're going to see it. You're going to hear it. You're going to know it. We have the Three of Swords. The Three of Swords is clarifying the 10 of Pentacles. The Three of Swords is also clarifying the Nine of Wands and the Hermit. And the Three of Swords is what needed to be healed in this Nine of Wands energy. This Hermit energy, this was what was required. In order for the two of you to be able to have material happiness and well-being, you had to heal these wounds. You had to heal this heartbreak, which didn't start with this iteration of Divine Masculine. It didn't. These wounds come from childhood, and your head is telling you that. Those swords, they came from childhood. The heartbreak that you keep repeating over and over comes from the wounds you received when you were small. And that is what has taken a very long time and a lot of isolation and alone time to unearth. Because when you're around someone else and they keep triggering you, it is much easier for you to be like, this person is wounding me, this person is hurting me, this person is responsible for how I am feeling. But when you are alone and you are still feeling this way, you have to ask yourself, wait, is it this person? Or is this person simply a reflection of the wounds I already have? And your heart had these wounds. And this is what has been worked on. And this heartbreak and these wounds have blocked this Ten of Pentacles energy. This was the bottom of the deck when I shuffled today, and it's here again. It is the Four of Wands, Twin Flame card 1111, clarifying the King of Swords in reverse. So, as these wounds are healed, this is what has created your ability to be able to see clearly what sort of masculine energy will be foundational for you to experience this union, this sacred union, this marriage, this happiness, this celebration. This is what you've been afraid about. You've been afraid that you're not going to be able to experience this union because your divine masculine has become silent or has left you, or whatever iteration of this divine masculine has done this. And so you've been afraid that you couldn't have this union. But your heart is reassuring you as these wounds are healed for the both of you from this isolation energy that you've been in, you will achieve this union. You have already. And your Queen of Wands energy that's in its reversal, having a little trouble holding on to that vision, being a little bit in her anger energy or sexual energy or whatever it is, she's trying to repress, like keep her excitement under control too, because she doesn't want to get too excited about the Knight of Wands or the Emperor. She just doesn't want to be disappointed. Her heart is in the Queen of Cups energy. So we're seeing her in command of her emotions, able to navigate tumultuous feelings and find her way to shore. She's absolutely in this loving kindness with herself and others. And it's just really preparing her to be open to receiving that Knight of Swords and Emperor energy. All right, let's take a look at Divine Masculines. Oracles. Shit. We got the light attributes of the Gambler energy, which is a willingness to follow intuition even when others doubt you. So, you've stopped relying on luck rather than hard work. I don't think that's ever really been a problem for you. You are a hardworking individual, but this energy looks an awful lot to me like Fool energy, right? Just blindly going right off that cliff. You are in the light attributes of it, which is excellent. And you are ready to follow your own intuition even when others doubt you. So right now you are not listening to the opinions of others. You are just following your intuition. You had surrendered to the divine in that Hanged Man energy, surrendering to your heart's desire, which is that Nine of Pentacles energy. And as you're shifting that energy upright, you are absolutely moving towards what it is that you want. You're taking that risk, and it is a wise decision. Here's your guardian angel to support you. That following of intuition, even when others doubt you, wise choice, bro. This choice that you've made, wise decision. You need to keep in mind that worrying about illness can create more illness. When you give your attention to something, your potential for attracting it is increased. The more vivid the details, the more likely you are to attract it into your experience. And so, any negative emotion you feel while observing something is your indication that you are negatively attracting. So, all that saying is if you are thinking about something and you are starting to feel not great, you are attracting what you're thinking about by the feelings you're having. Don't freak out. There's a buffer of time. Stop feeding the thing that you're thinking about detail as much as you can. Distract yourself in some way with some healthy, supportive behavior if possible. And you know what? You got a toolbox, dip into it. Do what you got to do to get your mind off the thing that you are focused on. This is also obviously a card with a card being about illness. There might be just some worrying for divine masculine about potentially contacting or having issues with the current virus that is plaguing our entire lives. So just reassurance from the divine, like worrying about illness creates more. Don't worry about it. Surrender to me. You are going to be fine. Hold your vision, right? Your vision was not in your grasp recently. Hold your vision. Creating heaven on earth, Lemuria, it is happening. So this is absolutely happening right now. Just hold on to that. And then to match your Three of Cups in your heart space, you've got the play card. Have fun, celebrate, and don't be so serious. So, I think you're definitely in a place where you're going to be able to get to celebrate real soon, especially if you just don't be too serious about what's happening right now. Just be playful. You're really good at being playful. So, just play and have fun. Have a good time. You're getting the protection message from Vulture Spirit today from the Colette Baron Reed deck. Do you wish you could run away from your past or deny your mistakes? You had both the Justice and the Judgment card in reverse. So, yeah. Not so fast, says Vulture Spirit. You have gained something valuable from the experience. Let your grief or anger move through you, and soon your emotions will transform, for you will come to see that you have learned and grown. The alchemy of transformation is a gift from Spirit, so never disown what embarrassed, disappointed, or shamed you. It will soon be a source of great wisdom and strength as you work with the magic that allows miracles to be created out of sadness and beauty, and to arise from ugliness. Vulture Spirit wants you to know that you embody beauty, and the alchemical transformation of the past is happening already. Hang in there. You are so loved, and so much beauty is waiting for you to come out of all of this. So, hang in there. That's a good message. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is wasted. So, don't regret. It's all been part of the process. All right, Divine Feminine, let's get your oracle messages. You are needing to call in the light of the advocate right now, which is inspiring you to put compassion into action. The shadow attribute is embracing negative causes or committing to causes for personal gain. So, embracing negative causes makes me think that right now you're not being an advocate for yourself so much, or an advocate for the union, perhaps. You might have just kind of moved into this space where you're just like, nothing good ever happens in regards to this. And, it's a shit situation with a shit person. And it's just, absolutely, it's just pointless for me to continue in this manner. So you're not really wanting to advocate for the union right now. But you're mistaking a specific iteration of the divine masculine instead of understanding that the union you're advocating for is within self. You want to integrate the divine masculine in self, which means you want to have a balance of masculine to divine feminine energy. And also, you might not be just I mean, if you're not being an advocate for the union, you're not being an advocate for yourself. And this doesn't mean that you have to go to the specific iteration and try to get this person back at all. That's not what that means. But it might mean that because you've released a specific iteration, you want to release the journey itself. And you can't. The journey is the journey. The journey isn't associated with a specific person outside of you. You're the specific person. So you can't just be like, well, I'm done and I'm not going to do it anymore. Everyone's doing it. You're always doing it all the time. You're either consciously or unconsciously doing it. Unconsciously doing it, it doesn't feel so good because unconsciously doing it means you're on the roller coaster of your emotions, and your emotions are, you know, that you're in the mood that you're in, that starts attracting more of that. And then you get that, and then you get a huge tower moment and you're like, wow, fuck this. And then you have to rebuild from that. It's very uncomfortable. Conscious and deliberate creation, very comfortable. So keep being an advocate, keep putting your compassion into action for yourself. Your guardian angel is here to present you with this diploma for this higher education because you have learned these lessons. And let me show you what you have learned. You have learned the law of attraction is my life's basis. And you know what this card looks like? It looks like this one, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. Since the law of attraction is the basis of your experience, an understanding of it is essential to living life on purpose. In fact, an understanding of the law of attraction is essential to living the life of joy that you came forth to live. You realize this. This is the lesson that you have learned. And because of this, you realize that happiness is always within reach, no matter what is happening. No matter what is happening outside of yourself, you can choose to feel better. And when you choose to feel better, you attract more feelings, more thoughts, more things that look like better instead of the other way around. So, this is the lesson that you have learned, and it's a good one. Communication is key. So make sure you're still speaking truth. You're still communicating. There's this twin flame energy. Do not shut out the other energy. Allow that communication to happen because in the communication, there is healing. Who or what is triggering you, Divine Feminine? Mirror. Pay attention. Pay attention to the things that are bugging you right now and then go, ooh, that's a little message. Whatever is bothering me in this moment is a key. It's an indication. It's showing me what it is that I'm afraid of, that I think I can't have, that I need more of, that I want more of, and I'm not sure I'm going to receive, right? Share your voice. Come out of the cave, persecution, and expression. So if you've been inside, if you've been hiding, if you've not been speaking your truth, if you've been hiding, this is the time for expression. Really start to express. And if you're getting this as well as communication, there might be someone in your life that you're avoiding a conversation with. You're afraid of the outcome. You're afraid of what that person might say or what they will think of you. Something like that. So you need to stop worrying about what kind of a backlash you will receive from expressing your true self. Because whatever that person's response to you is, it'll show you with this mirror card. It'll show you what your fears are. So let's just say there's something that you like, let's say this is a parent relationship. And you want to have a conversation with your parent about them being overbearing or not, or neglectful or not interested, not asking how you are, things like something that you're uncomfortable with in the dynamic. And you've been afraid to talk to them about it because you don't want them to be hurt or angry, or because you're used to thinking that things are going to go in this negative way, right? This embracing negative causes, like embracing negative outcomes. So you're worried about this reaction. And so you just don't express to them. But then it causes you to become very triggered all the time. The triggering that's happening is showing you that somewhere inside of yourself, that inner child has a wound. And that person is who's annoying you or bothering you. They're showing you just where the wound is. They're like, there it is. It's right there. And you kind of have to figure it out. Like if it's the thing where your parent is being overbearing, then the wound that you have could have something to do with the fact that you were often made to feel helpless. By like my mother was so controlling that she dressed me head to toe until I was like 8 or 9 years old. And I remember when my son was 2, I was visiting my mother and we had his suitcase and he had his own little suitcase. I was very into my son having autonomy because I didn't like being controlled. And my ex-husband was controlling. And so I gave my son a lot of autonomy so he wouldn't feel this overbearing energy. And I blocked my ex-husband from being overbearing with him. It took a lot of strength to do that, but I didn't want him to have the experience I had had. So we're visiting my mother. It's morning. He's finished his breakfast, and I told him it would be nice to get dressed so we could go take the dog outside for a walk. He goes over to his suitcase and starts to pull out his own clothes, and he pulls out whatever he wanted, and then starts to dress himself. And he's only 2, and my mother is very upset because it doesn't match. He picked clothes they don't match. And I was like, okay, he's 2. He wanted to wear the purple shorts and like the shirt that doesn't go with the purple shorts. Like who cares? He's gonna go outside and get dirty and like play with a huge dog. It doesn't matter. And she was just so upset about this and just like upset about it. Well, then later in the same trip, she was complaining at the dinner table about how I never did anything for myself and I was a spoiled little brat who wouldn't even dress myself when I was little. And I was so pissed. I was like, you wouldn't let me do that. Like my wound, I was so triggered by that. I was like, are you fucking serious? Like I had to wear tights. I had to wear all these things I hated. And like act like a pretty little girl and do like I went nuts. I was like, no, you will not make me feel that way. And I saw my inner child wound. My mother made me feel helpless so that I would depend upon her. That's codependency. She created a scenario where she felt I needed her, even though I didn't. Every 2-year-old is capable of pulling out their clothes and putting them on if they're shown how to do it. And they love the autonomy of it. And it makes them feel good. And you can have some control. You can be like, here's 3 outfits to choose from. If you're a parent that cares a lot about matching clothes and that's important to you, fine. But you can still teach them how to be self-sufficient. But she didn't want to because her own relationship with codependency was such that she needed to create a need for her. She had fears about being needed herself. And also that was how she had been mothered. So there's a wound that this person is showing you. Mine was helplessness. Someone had taught me that I couldn't take care of myself. I couldn't dress myself. I was spoiled. Someone had to take care of me. First of all, you can't spoil yourself. You can later when you grow up, but you can't when you're a child. You don't have access to the things that would allow you to spoil yourself. So it's interesting that she blamed me for some parenting choices that she had judged herself for making. Really fascinating dynamic. So take these opportunities when you're experiencing these mirroring, triggering sensations to go deep and figure out where that wound is and then express it. Because when you express this wound, you will clear the air about this. And even if your parent does not have the ability to shift their energy because they've been in it for so long, you now have established a healthy boundary. You can be like, we talked about this. I know you don't agree with me, but this is where I'm at. So that's how I feel about it. Don't fucking tell me that I was spoiled again. Like, that's my boundary, right? If you don't want me to get upset about it, don't fucking say it. Set your boundary. They're not gonna, and you know what? If they can't handle it, and they vibrate out of your life, bye. That energy isn't serving you. It's not helping you. It's holding you back. Finally, you're getting what is not aligned and needs to change. And I think that what I just talked about, the mirroring, expressing when you see these triggers, when you feel these triggers, that helps you to come into alignment because every time you tell those around you, hey, this is who I am and this is how I expect to be treated by everyone in my life, no matter what kind of blood relations we have, no matter what kind of agreements we have with each other. I expect to be treated this way because I'm going to take the time to treat you the way you expect to be treated too. But I have to express to you, I can't assume you're going to know. Every time you do that, the universe is like, slow clapping. Yes, queen. Now I can give you what you're worth because you didn't believe you were. You weren't insisting that other people take you seriously. You weren't insisting that your boundaries be respected. You didn't feel like you had enough reason to insist that you be treated with respect and compassion because you didn't believe you deserved it, but now you do, and I can give it to you, and I'm so fucking happy about it. That's what the universe is saying. And I quote, you're getting the protection message today from Snake Spirit, which I'm watching Cobra Kai with my kid, which is, I went on about it last night to my friend, and I was like, I don't know. This is the greatest show. I don't know how you could possibly make this any better for me. The 80s transition music, the cheesy 80s transition music alone, the fact that the OG cast is in it, the complexity of the characters. It's so good. Anyway, you should watch it. So I'm happy to see this card today. But this is about time to heal. And it's card 55. And we're getting the protective message today. And seeing as we had that healing energy for Divine Feminine, this is a strong message for her. No matter how much you have lost or how you have been disappointed, you are called by Snake Spirit to shed the past and practice radical self acceptance now. Only by forgiving yourself can you move on, regardless of whether anyone else is ready for healing. When your tender new skin becomes exposed, you may feel uncomfortable. Love yourself and remain vulnerable anyway. You have been weak, but now you are becoming strong and developing wisdom, and you will do better in the future. Snake Spirit reminds you that hearts can be so easily wounded. Apologies and amends go a long way. Self forgiveness for your role in what happened can help you heal. Remember, it is the one who has been wounded who often has the greatest power to help others heal. Beautiful message, Divine Feminine. All right, let's do the bottom of the deck for this couple. You're all in the healthy, light attributes of the damsel energy. And yes, that is profound, Emily. Understanding the nature of healthy romance and inspiring you to rely on yourself. So you're getting it. You're understanding the nature of healthy romance. It's not about codependency. It's not about getting your needs met. It's about meeting your own needs because you feel worth it and then bumping into someone else who's like, oh my God, look at this devastatingly beautiful goddess or God standing before me, or whatever of any permutation of that energy standing before me. I cannot live another moment without being around this energy all the time, which is so much like my energy because I understand healthy romance too. And I'm not interested in being codependent. And I meet all my needs and she meets her needs and we get to meet all of our needs together. And it's fucking fantastic. Right? St. Christopher's back. There's some travel going on. Travel to each other, traveling back together, soul travel, astral travel, hermit energy, Christopher being the Christ bearer. Any traveling that's happening is protected and safe. My inner being guides me through my emotions. While you are indeed a wondrous physical creator, you exist simultaneously in another dimension. There is a part of you, your inner being, that exists in this physical body, and your guiding emotions are your physical indication of your relationship with your inner being. This is just reiterating that your emotions are the thing that guides you to how far or close you are. If you are watching the live reading today, and you or the live no, you are watching the live reading, the live shuffle today on Instagram, which I think maybe only Kylie was there. And I was like, oh my God. This is why I was like, oh my God. Believe in the impossible. Blue moon card. Didn't really expect to see it today, but not surprised that I'm seeing it. This couple, once in a blue moon, that's the kind of love that's here. And you just really both need to believe in this impossible experience because it is possible. It has happened. You are already doing it. Stop overthinking it. Keep facing your true north. And OMG, the last card I cannot is Buffalo Spirit again and again, the protection message. And because it has come out a third time, there must be somebody who has missed the message. And so I'm going to read it again from the Colette Baron Reed Spirit Animal Oracle deck. Protection message of Buffalo Spirit is when Buffalo Spirit visits you with the message of protection, he is asking you to shift your thinking from poverty consciousness to one where you trust the universe will provide. Have you been falling into financial insecurity, worrying that there will not be enough money in the future? Have you been stressing and feeling sorry for yourself, worrying that because you have no romantic relationship now, you will never have one? Do you see scarcity where there is, in fact, abundance? Are you comparing yourself to others and falling short? Self pity, entitlement, fear, and lack are all thought viruses that seduce you into darkness. Buffalo Spirit nudges you to make a gratitude list and be mindful of your thoughts at this time. Even if outer events have happened to challenge your beliefs in abundance, outer conditions are temporary. If you are suffering from the malaise of fear that you are impoverished, realize that it is only poverty of perception and perspective. Prayer, communion with the higher power, and gratitude coupled with compassion, selfless service will snap you right out of it. Give to someone who has less than you. Be thankful for the tiniest things and say affirmations. Then you will remember abundance is the true nature of the world. Okay. Okay. You have this lack consciousness in regards to one another because you've been in isolation, you've been in separation. And so right now, your perception of this relationship is in lack. You must see it in its abundance. You must stop overthinking because you are already doing it. So keep facing this true north. There's the alarms to alert you to this issue that you have. No more lack consciousness, divine couple. All right, we're going to close the reading with one of our goddesses from the goddess deck. This is to enhance our practice, our goddess practice, which is that every day for 15 minutes at some point in the day, you put two hands over your heart and you're saying as a mantra, my heart is the heart of the goddess, and then visualizing a divine feminine energy of any modality that suits you. And then we just share from this deck. We share from this deck so that we can see the different goddesses that have existed throughout time and the different energies they embody. And today's goddess is Bast. Bast or Bastet or Pasht was the Egyptian goddess who appeared in cat form. The Egyptians highly revered cats. The word for cat, Mao, also denoted light and was cognate with the word for mother. The cat is a lunar animal and also a solar animal, representing the power of the sun as reflected in nature. Since the cat is an earth animal, Bast is also an earth mother goddess, a giver of life and abundance, in touch with her wild instinctual nature. She also is a protector of women during childbirth. Like a cat, she is fiercely independent and belongs to no one but herself. Bast is one of the more joyful goddesses. Her elaborate festivals in the town of Babustas were renowned for their joyful dancing. Embodying a cat's gentler aspects, Bast is a personification of life and fruitfulness, the quintessential life-affirming mother. She reminds us to be playful and relaxed, like a cat, and to find occasions to celebrate life. I love the image of this, of her. And I also like that idea of the cat landing on your feet, knowing that if you're taking that leap, divine masculine, you will land on your feet. Thank you so much for joining me. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Congratulations to the winner of the Lovers Challenge. We will playlist challenge. We'll have a new one coming up soon. I really flow with the energy, so when I sense that it's time to shuffle for a new card, I will do so. Otherwise, I will see you here tomorrow morning on Tuned In Tarot. Take care, everyone. Have a very lovely day today.